Yo, welcome to the Pitch Report. I'm Mario.
And I'm a Milcar.
And today we are talking about San Diego FC's inaugural home match against St. Louis SC. We'll also be talking a little bit about the Champions League that's happening tomorrow. And let's get to it.
Yeah, sweet. So obviously we were actually at the match this time. So big celebrity-studded match.
Yeah.
So we were there. We saw, obviously the final score was 0-0. A little bit disappointing, I think, for that. But how did you think the match went overall, I guess, to start?
Well, I think it was the most entertaining 0-0 draw I've ever seen. But I think I want to talk about just that we had a match in San Diego at a professional MLS level. Like, what did you think? Like, being in the stadium, how's that for you?
Dude, I thought it was really cool. I think like San Diego showed up and showed out, man. I think they sold it out. It was like the record-breaking crowd, like 34,506 fans.
Yeah.
So it was a ton of people. I was just so bummed that there wasn't a goal because I think that place would have erupted if there was one. But yeah, everyone showed out, which was awesome. You see like the supporter section, like that was also really cool to see.
Yeah, and everyone had so much gear too. I was surprised, like just everyone was like rocking some sort of San Diego FC gear. People seemed so excited. Like people were tailgating. I hadn't seen like a tailgate in San Diego since Qualcomm Stadium days.
Yeah.
So that was really, really cool too.
Yeah, people got there it was like 2:30 p.m. Like I rolled in like 7 o'clock almost. Like I drove straight from LA to get down there, and man, in lines, people are so drunk. Like I was like, man, you've been going at it for a while. I'm like, I need to get on your level, man.
Yeah, shout out Milcar, speed racer, made it from not like LA, like Westwood, like northern, like kind of semi northern, like LA. So kudos for making it from class.
Left my class early for that. Hey, I couldn't miss it. I know it was like I realized that it was the same time I had class. I was like, oh no, I gotta get out there and leave early, and I was going like 80 the whole way.
If you are a UCLA economics professor, that is not true. He was actually there the whole time.
I was there the entire time, and I participated the entire time. Please. No, but the ambiance is super cool. I was super happy about that. And I mean, if we want to like get into the game a little bit, obviously like San Diego dominated possession as they had done with LA Galaxy, but unfortunately, it didn't lead to a goal. Obviously, if you guys were watching it, but what did you think about the performance?
Well, I tend to be like an optimist in nature or just in general, and after winning 2-0 last week, I was like, oh, we're winning, like for sure. Maybe I could have thought we would have maybe lost, but I did not think 0-0. Like, no way. I was very surprised that's the way it ended up going. Performance-wise, I mean, I think there were some highlights. I think there's a few jitters maybe of playing your first game in your stadium. And I think one of the highlights was CJ Dos Santos. He got his second clean sheet, which... Actually, I guess we can jump into really quickly our first section. Yeah. So, CJ Dos Santos had his first clean sheet. Franco Negri had his first yellow at home. We had our first team draw. And most importantly, Amilcar had his first game.
Oh, yeah. It was the first night I got to go to in person, which was very different than watching it on TV. I think there's so many things to be distracted by, like just people screaming, just like looking at things around the stadium that like you have to like you forget sometimes. You're like, okay, wait, there's a game going on. Like there was definitely a couple of times where like your brother was watching it and I was like, oh shit, something's gonna happen. Like, oh, we gotta like pay attention, because we're just chatting about random stuff, which is not what happens. I think when you're watching it on TV, it's totally different environment.
Yeah, and I really like too the supporter section, like the chants, like really like give the game such a like interesting, like fun environment, because unlike like a baseball game, there's not like a lot of like commentating like between like when a new batter's coming up. Like you're constantly in a way being like spoken to, and this is basically like sets the tone for like the environment. So I really enjoyed the chants, which I am yet to learn, but I will hopefully be learning some of those.
Yeah, you found the Instagram page, right? That has all the chants or whatever.
Yeah, I think it's SDFC fan chants or something like that.
Yeah, some of them like I didn't understand at all, but it was fun. And then also like I guess just going back to like the pre-match stuff, like Manny Machado coming out with the ball, I was like, San Diego's own. That was also very cool.
Yeah, and actually, in honor of the Oscars last week, yesterday, there was a lot of interesting attire worn at San Diego FC. So, what were you wearing, Amilcar, at the blue carpet or chrome carpet yesterday or over the weekend?
Yeah, I was actually wearing the exact outfit that Manny Machado was wearing. Funny enough, so I'll probably post it on social media. Do it who wore it best. But I had the exact jacket that he was wearing, which I bought a while ago. And if any of you guys go to the SDFC store, best of luck. They are out of a lot of the stuff from what I heard.
I went to the store Friday before the game, the day before the game. I did not see that jacket, so my guess is Manny Machado also bought it a while ago, and it was hanging in his closet. Like, this is my SDFC.
The first day of school.
Yeah, basically, this is my outfit. So I think he's had it planned. So that was a really cool jacket. I liked it a lot.
Yeah, it's like the SDFC Letterman jacket is kind of I think what the best way to describe it. But yeah, him being there and the whole pre-match, show was very exciting. And I saw there was some celebrities there. I think I saw on Instagram Ryan Garcia was there, which is so random. I was like, is this guy from San Diego? Super random. Obviously, Alex Morgan and was there, which is not surprising at all. But
Javier Aguirre, not a celebrity, but the Mexican national team head coach. He was there to see Chucky Lozano. So hope he was there for the first 30 minutes.
Yeah, exactly right. But yeah, so I think the environment was really cool. I think it got me even more excited going to that than I was even before this.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, so that was fun. And I guess that's a perfect segue to talking about Chucky Lozano's injury. I think it was the 29th minute or 31st minute. Got injured. I think he was running and pulled looks like he pulled his hamstring.
Yeah.
He grabbed his hamstring and then went out. So I will definitely say I feel like the game changed a little bit when that happened because it was a little bit less of a threat from that side. But I guess depending on the severity of the hamstring, hopefully it's nothing big. I think they're going to do imaging either Sunday or today. But hopefully, I would assume that we're not going to see him for probably 2-3 weeks, I would think. So that's going to be a very, very different dynamic now for the team.
Yeah, according to Google, it says depending on the severity of the injury, it could be 6 to 8 weeks. So hopefully it's not that severe and we see him before that. But I think the priority would be for him to be healthy and come back at 100%. But yeah, I agree with you. I think after he went out, I think we were less dangerous after that. Our most dangerous was the first 30 minutes. That's when we created the most chances where I for sure thought we were going to get 1 or 2 goals. And after that, we continued to dominate most of the game, but I would say in the first half, around the 40 something minute, even St. Louis had the first real shot on goal. I think it was 1 of 2, and that's when they were the most dangerous. So yeah, hopefully it won't affect the team too much.
Yeah, I hope not. But a little sidebar is we should probably try to get a medical correspondent. That can tell us more about these injuries and the timelines. That'd be a good idea.
Yeah, I think we know a few.
Yeah, we have a couple MDs in our pocket that we can reach out to. But speaking of the 40th, 44th minute specifically, Mario was a little bit disappointed about some information he heard in the bathroom. You want to tell our viewers about that?
Yes, I was in the bathroom minding my own business. And no pun intended on the business. But anyways, someone claimed that they recognized someone that is known for running on the field and that they were going to run on the field on the 44th minute, which I'm glad it didn't happen. But in the moment, I was kind of excited. I had my binoculars ready, waiting for some action, which I do believe, and I told you that at the time, if you run on the field, you shouldn't do it. It's not right. But if you can go a minute without getting caught, I think they should let you just go back, slap your wrist, but not really get you in trouble. Anything under a minute, misdemeanor, whatever the normal punishment is, just my take.
That's actually so great. Yeah, do that. You allow 1 streaker per game at some point. You know, you got to keep the security on their toes. Make sure they're earning their money.
Exactly. Yeah, motivation to stay fit.
Right. Yeah, we have some very intense, talented people in San Diego. You never know.
Yeah.
But yeah, so unfortunately that, to Mario's point, that the streak didn't happen for him. He was very excited. Once it was the 45th minute, we're like, okay, I guess this is not going to happen. But yeah, so anyways, yeah, they definitely dominated. I think like you were saying, once Juki was out, it was very, very different. They had a lot of possession, but I think St. Louis, to their credit, they defended like impeccably. Like we had 14 shots, if not more, and only one shot on target or on goal, just because they were blocking every single shot that we were shooting. It was not even getting to the goalie. I think that just comes from a little bit of lack of movement, probably from the forwards. I think we do really well on the counterattack, but not necessarily when we're just trying to build up. I think that's where we're struggling a little bit.
Yeah, St. Louis, like you said, defended really, really well. I did get a feeling they were kind of like parking the bus. And it might be a strategy that they end up using throughout the season. They are pretty solid in defense. Last week, they also drew 0-0, so they're also undefeated like us. They also have had 2 clean sheets like us. So, yeah, I wish we really would have found the goal, but it wasn't this time.
Yeah, no, but I think to like SD's defense as well, I think that we played really well as well. Like they, if you looked at the game that St. Louis had last week, I think they had like 18 shots on goal and they had 2 this time.
True.
So they did a really good job. It was basically like a battle of the midfields and what was going to happen there. Obviously we started with like something like 75% possession, which is crazy. And it ended up going down to like, I think 68%, but it's almost having the possession is almost more frustrating because you're just like, dude, we're playing so well, but we just can't have that final pass, And some of it is like, you kind of like, I don't want to say like put blame, but like some of the frustration you kind of had to pin it on like the forward, right? Like Ingvartsen, like he had one header that went over the bar, but other than that, there wasn't a lot of like action coming from the middle from all those balls. And once Chucky Lozano was out, there was a little bit less creativity, I think.
Yeah, I agree. And even though we did get more shots, not there wasn't a lot that seemed to actually like create a threat for a goal. Like set pieces, we didn't really take advantage of them. Nothing really seemed to come that close. There was one that I think that might have happened when I was at the bathroom, and I thought it was a goal because like I heard the crowd erupt and our seats are right next to the bathroom. So I was gone for like a minute. So I was like, no way. Like the 1 minute I'm gone, they score a goal, which I would prefer a 1-0 goal that I missed than like a 0-0 drop. But yeah, other than that, I don't think we created like that many dangerous looking opportunities.
Yeah, I think the one that you're probably referring to I think it was off of a corner and then it like it went past everybody and then Godoy got it, shot it, but it unfortunately went straight to the goalie. And that was the one shot that we had on target was off of the set piece. But I don't know. Hopefully it's a learning experience. I think like you said earlier, like I think a lot of the jitters, the home jitters is real for sure. So, obviously we have second game. So, like we talked about last week, we were going to win the whole thing, go undefeated. Now we're like, okay, maybe we come down to reality a little bit, and then let's see what the next match has us doing.
Oh yeah. I was already thinking like, oh, okay, yeah, we are I wonder where the parade's going to be. Like, are you going?
Wait, actually, that's actually a great conversation. Where would the parade be? Like, would it be like downtown probably? If there's a parade in San Diego, Padres, come on.
I would think, probably whatever the Hollywood Bowl or not Hollywood Holiday Bowl parade. They have like it's like I forgot the street. Like I think it goes by City Hall and like past Seaport Village.
Okay.
I think that would make sense.
Yeah.
Maybe like a little bit into like downtown.
It's like typical San Diego. You got the ocean on one side. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. We had the Little League World Series parade. I think but that was in Chula Vista. I think that ended at Southwestern College. Yeah.
It did end up at Southwestern College.
Yeah. So we know where the Chula Vista one would be.
Exactly. And I guess on a little bit more of a serious note, trying to change things around. Obviously, there was some not so great stuff that we saw. A lot of it coming from the crowd, and something that unfortunately I think tainted the game a little bit, and kind of made news for the wrong reasons. So, if you guys watched the game or if you were there, I think it's a pretty something that we've heard in the past. The chants that were going when the goalie was kicking the ball off. Obviously, we probably won't mention what was said, but what was your kind of what's your thought on that? I know it's something that, like, I know the Mexican national team has had some flack for that and had to play a couple of matches without fans and stuff like that. So how does it make you feel, I guess, for it being in San Diego?
I think it was an unfortunate occurrence in such a exciting and like fun atmosphere. Like, we were celebrating that we have a team, and it's just sad to see. You mentioned the Mexican national team, and yeah, there's been issues where the Mexican team's been penalized because of these actions. And I want to assume, considering the region that we're in, a lot of the fans in the stadium are Mexican and have had to see what the punishments are for that, where like you play games with no fans. And so it was just upsetting. I think there's nothing redeeming about it, but once the PA system like basically announced that shouldn't be done, it was definitely like not as many people, and it was a minority, but a lot of times it takes a few people to spoil it for everyone else. So overall, just upsetting.
Yeah, I know. At first, it happened pretty late in the game because there was no goal kicks for some reason.
Yeah.
It wasn't until probably like the 80th minute that the first goal kick happened. And yeah, we were in our section. We were sitting there where I was like, I would look at you. I was like, oh gosh, like this is going to start happening. And like, I mean, like you said, we've seen, the repercussions that happens from it. And like, I know like there was like the 93rd minute, they're like, oh, this happens again, we're going to suspend the game, which obviously in the 93rd minute you think, okay, it doesn't really matter. But like, it's like hopefully not a sign of something that's to come in the future. Hopefully, fans understand that it's not something that's appropriate to be said. And I get it. Some of it's cultural, right? Like, and I think it's something that's been said in the past, but it's like, all right, new time, new place. Like we probably need to not be saying that stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. There's no space for that at all. And I would even argue that if you're saying that, you're not there because you're a fan. You're not there because you care so much about like the team. You just want to be rowdy. I don't know. Why would you hurt the team? Like, and the people and everyone else. It's not worthwhile. And if we end up playing without any fans for any games, someone owes me tickets because I paid season tickets, so I do not want to miss a game. So please, just don't do it.
Yeah, double down on that one. I completely agree. And obviously, like, it's something that people are taking very seriously. So, like, I know Mike Ibarras, like, right off the bat, before he even started his press conference, he was like, hey, it's unacceptable, all that stuff. So I'm glad people are taking it seriously, and hopefully it's just like a one-off. And, like you said, it was just a minority, and we can kind of move on from it and kind of, like, have a good time. Because it was an amazing time, honestly, up until that point. It was, like, it just sucks that, like, it kind of overshadowed some of the great parts of, like, having a team in San Diego and all the excitement that was coming from it.
Yeah, and even at that point, like I felt like the momentum of the team was already like on its way down. It was starting to feel like maybe we were going to draw 0-0. Although San Diego FC was going for it, like late even like into the 80th minute. Even like our defense was like pressing hard. They were pressing like onto like their side of the field. So we were really looking for that goal. I think they really wanted to give the crowd that win and that excitement. And on the opposite end, St. Louis FC were all back and maybe trying to get a counter, but not really trying to do much more. They were happy with the draw.
Yeah, I mean, it's really difficult to break that low block once they have it there, because it's just like you have to get really creative. You have to put a lot of balls in, but it just becomes really hard, especially when they're just going back. But yeah, like I know it was like the 85th minute. You were like taking pictures, like, I can't believe the line is so high. Like they're literally in the opponent's third almost was where our defenders were, because like that's how much they wanted that goal and how much they were pushing up on that.
And also like shows how much St. Louis was not. They didn't even have their forward like trying to like beat them on a run. Like he was also defending. Like they really were okay with that basically.
Yeah, they had 11 people behind the ball. So, but the thing is, like, that's going to happen, and like that's what will happen if people know that how we play. We play possession based, so they're just going to stay back. Welcome the pressure, and if we can't break that, then that's just going to be what the film's going to show. Just keep doing that over and over and over again. So hopefully, we'll get a little creative, with some balls in, some through balls, to get a goal. Because obviously, the biggest thing that breaks that is once a goal goes in, it tears that apart.
Yeah, and something that I'm curious about to see what the identity of this team will be and like their style of play for the rest of the season, especially assuming Lozano's out for 4 to 6 weeks. it looked like we were playing a lot of possession, pressing a lot, being offensive. I wonder if that's going to stay the same, or if we're going to basically change that approach for at least a few games until hopefully we have Lozano back, or maybe we get De Bruyne before that. No, I think he'd come at the end of the Premier League season. So if anything, he'd come back when Lozano comes back.
Yeah, in the summer sometime. But yeah, no, I think that the identity is huge, and I think they played very similar to how they played against LA Galaxy. I think their energy was just impeccable. It was awesome. Like they were just pushing, they were pressing the whole time, really playing possession based. Now it's just about like obviously the goals that we got during LA Galaxy was one was goalkeeper error, and the second was on a counter. So now it's about trying to figure out how can we be creative and how can we score goals when you're have like a general build up, when it's not a counterattack. And that's what I think is going to be really the breakthrough for us.
Yeah, agreed. I'd love to see a set piece goal next. I think that would be cool. Well, all in all, even though it was a draw, we are good for 4 points so far, which gets us 4th place on the Western Conference so far, only ahead by 3 undefeated teams, which are San Jose, Vancouver, and potentially, we'll have to talk about it soon, LAFC. Not potentially LAFC, it is LAFC, but a potential rival in LAFC, which we'll talk about at some point to see who our rivals are, if any, at the time.
Yeah, and I think just to preview kind of the upcoming match, like we had mentioned a little bit, was we're going to be playing Real at Salt Lake at America First Field on March 8th. So this next week up in Salt Lake City. Wonder what the weather will be like there. It's probably freezing. Wonder if it'll be snowing. But yeah, obviously, getting some points on the road is going to be huge to secure something. I think you had looked into Real Salt Lake a little bit, Mario.
Yeah, so week 1, they lost 4-0 to San Jose, and then they won 2-0 against Seattle. So the scoreline, I think, is a little tricky. San Jose seems to be a team that's potentially going to be pretty good this year, despite not having the best season last year. So I don't hold that too much against them. And then the 2-0 win against Seattle, I think it kind of evens out. So I really don't know what to expect in regards to our chances against a team from an opponent perspective. But what are the books saying on our odds?
Yeah, it looks like there's like a 47% chance Real Salt Lake wins, 26% chance on a draw, and then 27% chance San Diego FC. I'm sure not having Lozano is probably playing a role in that. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I'm very excited. Going to get to watch this one on TV. Obviously, not flying out to Salt Lake City for that one. But yeah, I'm excited. I'm just excited to see some more good games.
Yeah, and those sound like the odds we had against LA Galaxy, so I'm liking them.
Those odds honestly might be better than what we had against LA Galaxy. I think it was like in the teens of percent to win.
All right, and we're going to move on to a quick segment we want to introduce, Pitch of the Week. Basically, we can just talk about any rant, anything we want to call out. So I'm going to go ahead and take this one first.
Yeah.
My pitch of the week is, I actually have 11, and it's a Manchester United team crashed out of the FA Cup. But I will also say, and in a penalty shootout, and it just adds to like a pretty disappointing season so far. However, and I might get some heat, I'm kind of happy it was against Fulham of all teams because Raul Jimenez is on there and Anthony Robinson. So yeah, at least it's like 2 CONCACAF players that get to move on in the FA Cup, and Manchester United can now just focus on winning the Europa League and hopefully still making it to the Champions League next year.
Oh my God, yeah, that's good. That's a good way to start that new segment, the pitch of the week, man. That's what a pitch.
Do you have one?
No, I actually don't have one this week. I was not prepared for that, but
Okay,
but I will get one for next week to have it. But I think we had some funny ones where it's like, the pitch of the week could be anybody that just faked an injury for too long, or just completely messed up or something like that. So look forward to that once a week. That'll be an exciting one. Also, if you guys have any pitches you would love to to nominate, shoot us a message on Instagram or Twitter or anything.
Yeah, I'll add one more. Anyone that was saying those chants not the good ones,
There
the
you
bad
go.
ones at the game.
Yeah, way to come full circle, Mark.
Yeah.
Good for you. Good for you. Way to take some good out of it, right? All right. So the last thing we're gonna do before we wrap up, we're gonna do just rapid fire predictions. We have Champions League coming up. It's Tuesday and Wednesday, the Champions League first leg. So I'll start with the first half, and then you'll give me the second half. So Club Brugge, Aston Villa. Who do you think is gonna win, or do you think it's gonna be a tie?
I said Club Brugge is gonna go through, so I got Club Brugge.
All right, I got Aston Villa on that one.
Okay, I got 2-1.
Okay, I'll go 2-1 the other way.
Okay.
All right, what about Dortmund against Lille?
Lil.
Lille, okay, that's a good one. I would venture to think an upset, right? So I think Dortmund will come out with it. I think they're so far back in the league that the Champions League is what they're going for, you know. So I really think they'll be the one to take that one. All right, Arsenal against PSV.
Oh, I'm a PSV fan because they have a lot of Mexican players, so historically, but I'm gonna go Arsenal.
Yep, I'm going Arsenal on this one. That was my quote unquote upset or sleeper that may or may not be a sleeper. What about the big one? Real Madrid against Atletico Madrid.
Well, it depends. Is it Real Madrid that played Betis over the weekend? Because if it's that Real Madrid, Ancelotti said that they're gonna lose if that's the case. I'm going to go a draw for this one.
Yep, I was going to say, I think it'll be a draw. It's at the Bernabeu. They played terribly over the weekend. Couldn't create anything. Hopefully they get some players back. But I'm leaning towards a draw. I think we'll be lucky at this point if we get a draw, and then hopefully go to the Wanda Metropolitano and try to take a 1-0 or something after that.
All right, so that's the first leg on Tuesday. Then on Wednesday, we got Feyenoord and Internazionale.
I'll probably go Inter on this one.
I'm gonna go Inter on this one, but I like Feyenoord to go through, so that means I'll have them winning next week or next matchup. All right, we got Bayern and Bayern Leverkusen.
This one I'm very excited for. This is very similar to the Real Madrid, Atletico Madrid. We're talking about two rivals that have played so many times together. I'm gonna say this one will be a draw. I think it's going to be very defensive, maybe either 0-0 or like a 1-1 draw.
Yeah, this one's really exciting, especially right now. They're like the two teams that could win the Bundesliga this year. So I'm going to go. I don't want to be boring, but I have to agree with you. I got to go with the draw. And then we got Barcelona, Benfica.
All right. So, I mean, the way Barcelona's playing lately, I think this is going to be a lot of goals. I think that the first time they played, I think it ended 4-5 or 3-4 or something like that. So I could see a lot of goals happening. I think Barcelona will win it handedly. I think either like a 3-1 or 3-0, something like that.
Yeah, I got 3-1 as well. And I promise I won't agree with you on the next one.
No matter what I say, you'll take the opposite.
Yeah, no matter what you say. And then we got PSG Liverpool, one of the marquee matchups, I would say, at least from name value.
Yeah, for sure. And honestly, whatever way we pick, I think it could be perfectly reasonable. I'm going to say Liverpool is going to win this one, probably like 2-1, 1-0, not by a lot, but Mo Salah's playing out of his mind right now.
Yeah, I have to agree on not the score. I agree on the result that Liverpool will win, only because they have been playing very, very well. Mm-hmm. But I'll go 3-1 then.
Okay, sweet, awesome.
So I think that about does it for today. We'll be releasing an episode after this round, so we'll recap all of the games. So please make sure to tune in. Anything else, Amilcar?
No, if you guys have any topics you guys want us to cover or anything like that you guys are listening and, think something exciting, have any questions, feel free to comment on Instagram or on X or anything. We'd love to, talk about whatever you guys want to hear.